Hey everyone and welcome back to my vlog channel. I have had a massive problem because I deleted the entire first section of this video, so towards the end you'll see me in a completely different outfit, and I've tried to recreate the makeup similar as to what I did the other day, but I've literally deleted the whole bulk of this video, which is so annoying, so I'm having to refilm, but I don't mind because I quite enjoyed like having a chat to you guys about my relationship. As you can see from the title, I'm going to be talking about my relationship, the stigma behind like university relationships and sort of like long distance, and at the end I'm going to be answering some of your guys' questions that you've asked me on social media. I'm going to give you a little bit of context. So me and my boyfriend met at the beginning of secondary school. We were like really close friends, then we like sort of grew apart after like a couple years at secondary school, and then we came back together at the end of year 9 and started chatting again, and then we started like talking a little bit more. And it seems like so funny to think about because I was so young. I was literally 14 when I got together with my boyfriend, and it seems like it wasn't legit. Like our parents probably thought that it was a joke sort of thing, and like, oh, they'll be here, they'll probably be gone after a few months or whatever. But yeah, me and my boyfriend have been together since the end of year 9, so we were 14 and now we're both 19. In July it's going to be our 5-year anniversary, which is exciting, and actually we've just booked a holiday to Greece, which is super exciting. At the end of this video I was actually talking about us trying to plan a holiday, so you'll probably hear me say that later on, but we've actually booked the holiday now because it's a few days later and we're going to Greece actually on the day of our 5-year anniversary, which is so exciting. Yeah, so a bit of context, we've obviously been together throughout our like whole secondary school like time, and like throughout our GCSEs, our A levels, so we've been in each other's lives like quite a lot because we did go to the same secondary school. So to suddenly like go to universities completely separate, like Aidan's studying physics at Imperial College London, and then I'm in Lincoln, which is about 2.5 hours on the train, so it's very expensive. It's like on average about £50, £40 to go see each other. We try and get like off-peak tickets, but it's very expensive, so we can't see each other a lot. I'm going to try and cover like some people's questions like by explaining like our current situation, so hopefully I've answered everyone's questions by the end of this video, but I actually have like specific ones that I will answer at the end if I haven't spoken about them specifically. Obviously because of the money situation, like we're both not very rich people at all, so we can't like just go to each other whenever we want to, and obviously we're very busy with our courses because they are very like heavy. Like obviously Aidan's more so because he's studying physics. So fidgety today, I'm so fidgety. Yeah, so obviously we're very busy people, but there are times when I feel very down, and there are times when it gets like really shit because we suddenly went from being together and being like inseparable in summer to suddenly being completely separate at uni. A lot of people have asked me like how I balance my like workload and also like seeing my boyfriend, and most of the time like we see each other about once a month. When we first started uni between September and November, like we had like 2 months apart. It was sad, but also I wasn't thinking about it, and not obviously in a bad way at all. Like obviously I still love my boyfriend, but it was actually nice to like get away. We'd been like obviously together constantly throughout summer, and it was nice to like move, start afresh, have new people around me, have like a different social life, get used to my room, become more independent. And yeah, it was very busy, and a lot of people think that obviously people cope with things very differently. I found it a great thing when I first came to uni to be separate for like them 2 months. Obviously we saw each other more frequently after that, but because we were so busy like getting like adjusting to our new routines and adapting, because obviously you have to like adapt. It's literally such a different situation than like living at home with your parents. Like you fend for yourself in every single way possible, and it's a massive change to your routine, which I actually thought I was going to struggle more with because I literally have massive like breakdowns whenever I have like a massive change in my life. So I felt like I moved smoothly, and my boyfriend was like low on my priority list, not in like a bad way, but because I wanted to make all these new friends, like have people around me that could support me, because back at home I only had Aidan and obviously Megan who could support me, because I didn't really have like a big friendship group, or I didn't really like get on with that many people in my hometown. So I only had like Aidan and Megan, which I didn't see much because Megan went to a different secondary school. So I wanted to have like a good support network here, which is like Megan and Hattie now, and just like put in effort with other people, like go out, enjoy my life, and just, I don't know, I just feel like the first part of uni I just didn't really think about Aidan too much, not in a bad way like I say, it was just because I had my mind on other things and getting used to where I was living now. When I am feeling down, I do obviously FaceTime my boyfriend. if you have like an Apple product, or if not, you can like use things like Skype, Google Hangout and shit like that to like ring people. Like I always FaceTime my family, and I FaceTime my boyfriend like most nights now. And there was like a period when we didn't, because we were so busy, and especially now it's exams as well, like it's hard to constantly keep up with each other and message each other all the time. Like we don't message each other every single day. Like we obviously send each other, like, you know, when you send like your friends or your partner like funny shit on like Twitter or Facebook, we do that obviously, but like not obviously in-depth conversations every single day, because we do run like completely different lives at the minute. I've got like so much work to do. I've got exams. Aiden's just finished like some of his exams in May. He has some more in June. Like Aiden's course literally runs on until the end of June, whereas I finish like in a week's time, which is mental. So we do run like very different routines now we're at uni, so it's like sort of getting the balance between like working and not. It's very different, and I thought I was going to struggle more than I am. There is this whole stigma that I absolutely hate, which I don't know how I've not spoke about it already, but this stigma that relationships don't work out at uni, like you'll get bored, long distance relationships don't work, like your boyfriend will cheat on you. Like I hate that shit. Like it pisses me off so much, because you start like overthinking, like even though you know it's not going to happen. Like I knew Aiden wouldn't break up with me, or like if it was going to be for good reason. Like people just like feed you shit in your ears, like saying that it's not going to work out and you'll find someone new, or you won't want it to work, or it won't work. But it can. Like I'm literally proof of it right now. Obviously I can't speak for the future because you never know what's going to happen, but I've survived first year with my boyfriend at uni, so you can do it as well. Like a lot of people are worried and messaging me like, how is it going? Like, is your long distance relationship working? And yes, the answer is yes, it's absolutely fine. I might not completely like stop you worrying, but at least like I can sort of like confirm that it can work, and you can make it work by just arranging to meet like every month. If you can do it more, then that would be great. Like if I had the money, I would love to go see my boyfriend more, because there are like nights where I'm sad and just want to like have a cuddle. I just want to like be with my boyfriend, but I obviously can't because of money situations. And you can, if you are worried about that and worried that you won't see each other much, then maybe like work in summer and try and save some money and put it aside like in your savings, so that if you do feel down or want to go see your partner, then you have the money there to go see them. Even better if you have a car and like you can do that. But here I think at Lincoln you have to pay like £500 to park your car here a year, which is grim. So obviously that wasn't a thing for me, and I couldn't really afford I didn't really need a car here, to be honest, because everything's walking distance. Just thought I'd let you know that this whole stigma that relationships won't work is just it's just not real. Like if the relationship is toxic and you realize that it's not working out while you're at uni, then fair enough, break up. But I'm just sort of like speaking for the people worried that it won't actually work. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to questions now, because I've had quite a few questions and hopefully I can like sort of answer them. So I've got an email for my first question, and it's, I was wondering how the first year at university has been for you in a long-term relationship, and if you have any advice on how to keep it healthy and make it work. So I personally think like the once a month thing's actually really convenient for me, because I still have time to be here. Like I don't just go see him for one day, like I'll see him for a whole weekend or a few days. See your partner more if you need to, or if it's closer and you can afford to, then that's great. But once a month is like working perfectly for me, because it gives me time to like live my life here, but also like get to see Aiden. Healthy, maybe like try not to dedicate your whole time completely to your boyfriend, because you do want to like make friends and like a support network at your university as well if you're not going to the same one. I know like quite a lot of people suffering because they spend their whole time focused on their partner and they haven't like pushed themselves to make friends, and they're like obviously struggling a lot now because it's difficult to make friends towards the end of the year, because in the first like few weeks everyone like wants to know each other, and then obviously like naturally how it does in school, like little cliques and groups form. So yeah, I'd just say maybe just find that perfect balance of how many times you're going to see someone and not dedicating all your time solely to them. So I've got a question saying, would you recommend not seeing your partner for the first few weeks of uni so you can settle in? I've heard that's a good idea, but of course I will miss my boyfriend so much when I first go to uni in Plymouth. He will be 2 hours away. So that is a very similar situation to me and Aiden. I would personally recommend having the first few weeks to settle in, meet new people, and like I said, find the support network that you will need while you're at uni. Like in times of distress and insanity, you will need these people around you to like help you get through everything, because there are times where you can feel very low due to like deadlines, work and shit like that. But yeah, I definitely say leave the first few weeks to settle in, because you want to like explore the area, meet all these new people and become more of an independent individual. Obviously you can still message your boyfriend and you might still miss him. Like I missed my boyfriend, but because I was so busy, like my mind and focus was elsewhere, so I wasn't like dwelling on anything in the evenings. It was more like me trying to focus on making this new place a home. Cringe. But yeah, I'd say yeah, maybe leave the first few weeks so you can settle in. Like I'd recommend that, because that worked well for me. About the last few questions, thank you to everyone who has sent them in. I wasn't expecting as many people to jump on, because obviously people might not give a shit about my relationship, which is fair enough, which is actually quite a change because of the amount of rumours that have been spread around in the past and people interested in my relationship when it's nothing to do with them. Okay, I got a bit angry there for a second. Right, so Leah has asked. Leah, oh my god, you need to check out Leah's channel. She's one of my favourite people to watch at the minute, and she has been for quite a long time actually. Her name's Leah Turner on YouTube. I'll link her down below. She creates lots of great videos, like similar content to mine, like clothing hauls, and like she does weekly vlogs, which are my favourite. Her and her boyfriend are so cute, so you should go and subscribe to her. But anyway, she has asked 2 questions. One is, what do you find the hardest thing about long distance relationships? And I think the hardest thing for me is when I'm feeling low, because I've suffered with like really bad mental health before. I sometimes have like little slip-ups where I can get back into those really low moods, and my boyfriend would really help me out just by talking to me, or even just as a distraction from like my own mind, and just being around him, like just being in his presence and just being able to like have a cuddle if I need it. Like that, I think just being around someone to distract you from your own mind sometimes, that's something that I do really miss. And obviously the hardest thing is definitely not being like actually physically around someone, because sometimes when you're just like looking at them on FaceTime and then I go off the call, I start thinking really shit again. Whereas if I'm with my boyfriend and like he stays around, then I'm generally have a better night's sleep and have my mind taken off all the bad thoughts that I have going on. And then the other question Leah asked is, what do you think is the best thing to do to get through the long distance? The best thing to do, going back again to the planning, especially at uni, if you only have like a period of time where it's going to be long distance and it's not going to be forever, like at uni, like every summer obviously me and my boyfriend are going to return home and we'll be together in summer, so we've been planning things to do in summer together. So we're going to see Beyonce and Jay-Z in June, we're going to see Darren Brown in July, we're trying to book like a last minute holiday somewhere if we can afford to. He's coming away with me and my family in August. Like we've planned things to do throughout summer, so if you like have these plans in mind and like write them in your calendar, then it's going to get you excited and you have something to look forward to when you see them and everything. Yeah, I think planning is my top tip to surviving a long distance relationship for sure. And then Chris has asked how, again another balance question, but balancing academic, social and love life. So like I was saying earlier, obviously like you change your priorities at different times of the year. So like I said at the beginning, I was a bit more focused on socialising and making new friends here. However, when we bring academic life in, obviously that is the most important thing because you are paying for your degree. But I personally think, like, I've come to the conclusion at the end of first year that I'm not just paying for the degree, I'm paying for the entire experience. When you get to like leave home and just live in this random place, you get given a loan, you have free reign, you have so much freedom, you get to have your own little room. Like it's just weird, and like I'm going to be living with my best friends next year. Like when does that usually happen? It's me and Hattie were saying it's something that you used to plan when you were younger, like, oh my god, we're going to live in a house together, like with your mates. I think you pay the money for the experience, and obviously the academic bit is important because that is what you're like theoretically paying for. I don't think you have to put your course like on top of everything whilst you're at uni, because your mental health, your emotional health and support is so much more important. Like if you are feeling low, then prioritise your love life. If your partner makes you feel better, then prioritise them. If your mental health is suffering, go and see them, plan something to do with them like very soon, or like in the spur of the moment, because you can always catch up on work. I know this is quite controversial, but you can always catch up on work. If you are feeling low, message your partner, go meet them. Same if you're socialising with friends. If you're getting like cabin fever in your room, go out and do something with your friends to get your mind out of that sort of awful, like, stuffy state. So yeah, I think this is a controversial one. I'm not saying like always go to your boyfriend, because that's kind of defeating my whole point that I made earlier about seeing your boyfriend or partner too much. I definitely say, depending on what you're going through at the time, your priorities can change. There's not like a specific one that is always at the top. Like, my academic is not always at the top for me. Like, sometimes socialising goes above if I haven't been doing much and have been make so much time for my work. Recently I've been putting revision above everything, constantly revising in my room, and I just want to go out and socialise, and it's making me unmotivated. So I think it just depends on what's going on in the time of the year as to how you balance it out. Okay, so Kate has asked 2 questions as well. They're actually really good ones. So she said, has anything changed between you and Aiden since you both went to uni? Right. Anything that's changed? I think... Oh. Obviously there are changes. I think it's brought us closer, because when we spend time together, it's like solely dedicated to each other. Like, when I said we used to be together all the time, we'd obviously like chill together, like not talk for a while, just be on our phones, or just one of us would be asleep and one of us would be doing work or something. Whereas when we see each other now, like, it's like proper quality time, because we don't see each other as often as we'd like to. So I think the big change is that we spend like all of our time together, and it's more like intimate. Not in like a weird way, just like it's more one-on-one rather than sort of like normal, if that makes sense. And then the other question was, do you plan on moving in together after uni? This is a scary question, because like just thinking about finishing uni is terrifying to me. I think we're both the sort of people that want to keep going on with education. We both really love learning and want to like keep upping our qualifications, so we could be at uni for several more years. Like, I think Aiden will definitely do a master's and might even go to do a PhD. That's something I'd like to do, but obviously I just personally don't think I'm as clever as him. It's like a fact. It's a fact. He is very, very intelligent. He literally got all A stars and A's at GCSE and got 2 A stars and an A at A level, so he's like significantly more intelligent than me. Not like putting myself down, it's literally just a fact. So he will probably go on to do a PhD. He's doing physics currently, and I do want to do a master's too, because I just don't want the university experience to end already. Who knows, I might be pissed off by the time I'm in 3rd year and might be bored of it, but I really think I will want to carry on going. So obviously it just depends on how long each other's at university, but as soon as university's finished, we'll probably live at home just to save up for a house. But I think as soon as we can, we'll want to move out together, and we want to get dogs so badly. So as soon as we do move out, I'm hoping YouTube's still around by then, and I'm hoping that I'm still vlogging my life. There'll be literally a dog as soon as we've moved. As soon as we can afford to move, and then as soon as we can afford a dog, we'll literally be getting one like that. Like, honestly, every single day we talk about wanting dogs. So as soon as we can afford it, that's what's going to happen. And I think it literally just depends on the future. It depends what we want at the time. I think we're just going to have to like play it by ear, see what each other wants to do. But it's definitely going to come like in the future, because we've spoke about it a little bit, but not like properly in depth, because it is going to be like a while away. But yeah, I hope that's answered your question. Right, so this video is all over the place, but I completely forgot to have a little outro. So thank you very much for watching this video on relationships. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below any other questions you have if I didn't answer anything, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new vlog at 11 a.m. Bye.